I'm 92 years old. My name is Frank, and I need to tell you something before I run out of time. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, a lot of bad decisions, a lot of choices I'd take back if I could. But there's one mistake that towers above all the others, one regret that keeps me awake at night. One thing I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders and screamed in my face when I was 60 years old. I wasted my 60s. Not in the way you might think. I didn't drink them away. I didn't gamble them away. I wasn't lazy or irresponsible. I wasted them by waiting, by putting things off, by telling myself I had time. And now I'm 92, sitting in a small apartment, looking back at 32 years that feel like they barely happened, and I can't get any of it back. What I thought my 60s would be, when I turned 60, I had a plan. I'd been working as an electrician for 40 years. Hard work, good money, climbing ladders, crawling through attics, working in 100-degree heat in the summer and freezing cold in the winter. I'd provided for my family, put 3 kids through college, paid off the house, built up a decent pension and savings. I was tired, really tired. My body hurt constantly, my back, my knees, my hands. 40 years of physical labor takes a toll. But I told myself, just a little longer, just until 65, then I'll retire, then I'll start living, then Dorothy and I will finally have our time. I had this vision in my head, crystal clear, me and my wife Dorothy, traveling, seeing the country we'd spent our whole lives working in, but never really experiencing. Maybe even going to Europe. We'd always talked about Italy, the Amalfi Coast, the food, the history, the romance of it. I imagined fishing trips to places I'd only read about. Long lazy mornings with nothing to do but drink coffee and read the paper without rushing to work. Reading all the books I'd never had time to read. I imagined learning to play guitar. I'd always wanted to do that. Had this romantic vision of sitting on the porch, playing folk songs, Dorothy sitting beside me, maybe taking up woodworking, building things for pleasure instead of for money, creating something beautiful instead of just functional. I imagined time with my grandkids, really being present with them. Not just the occasional Sunday visit where I was too tired to really engage, but actually being part of their lives, teaching them things, taking them fishing, being the grandfather I'd always wanted to be. I thought my 60s would be the beginning of something, the reward for all those years of hard work. That's what I thought. What actually happened? I turned 60 in 1994. I was still working full-time. Dorothy was 58, working as a nurse at the community hospital. We kept saying we'd retire soon. Next year, the year after that, we wanted a little more in savings, a little more cushion, just to be safe. 61 came and went, still working. 62, still working. 63, still working. My back was getting worse. I'd come home from work and could barely move. I finally retired at 65, January 2000. Dorothy had retired at 63. We were both finally done. We had our pensions, we had social security, we had savings, we were comfortable. And then nothing happened. We didn't book the trip to Italy. We talked about it, we looked at brochures, but we never actually made a reservation. It seemed too expensive, too complicated, too tiring. We didn't take up new hobbies. We were too tired. After decades of working, we just wanted to rest. We fell into a routine. Wake up around 7, make coffee, read the newspaper, watch the morning news. I'd tinker around the house, fix things that didn't really need fixing. Dorothy would clean, do laundry, run errands. Lunch, usually sandwiches. Watch some daytime television. Afternoon nap, both of us. Every day. Wake up, make dinner. Simple stuff. Watch the evening news, watch primetime shows, go to bed around 10, every day, the same routine, every single day. My grandkids were growing up, and I barely knew them. They'd visit on holidays, we'd exchange pleasantries, Then they'd leave and I wouldn't see them again for months. Dorothy and I were together every day, but we weren't really present with each other. We'd sit in the same room, watching the same TV shows, but not really connecting. The years started blurring together. 66, 67, 68. Nothing memorable, nothing distinctive, just the same routine, day after day. I'd occasionally think about the guitar in the closet, the woodworking tools in the garage, the travel brochures on the coffee table. But I always told myself, later, we'll do it later, we have time. And then Dorothy got sick. When everything changed, Dorothy started feeling tired in the spring of 2006. She was 71, I was 73. At first, we thought it was just aging, but it got worse. She lost her appetite, lost weight, started having pain. She went to the doctor in July. They ran tests. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4, already spread to her liver. The doctor said maybe 6 months, maybe a year, if we were very lucky. I remember sitting in that doctor's office, holding Dorothy's hand, and feeling like the floor had disappeared beneath me. This wasn't supposed to happen yet. We were supposed to have more time. We were only in our early 70s. We'd only been retired for 6 years. 6 years we hadn't done anything yet. We were still in the resting phase. We were going to start living soon, but soon had run out. Dorothy lived 11 months after the diagnosis. 11 months of doctors and hospitals and treatments that made her sick. 11 months of watching her fade away. 11 months of realizing that all those years we'd spent sitting on the couch, we could have been living. We never went to Italy. We never saw the coast. We never had the adventure we'd always talked about. We never took a road trip across America. Never saw the Grand Canyon or Yellowstone. We never danced again. Dorothy loved to dance. We used to dance when we were young, but somewhere along the way we stopped. And I never took her dancing again. I never learned to play guitar for her. We never did any of the things we'd been planning to do later. Because later ran out. Dorothy died in June 2007. I was 77, and I've been alone ever since. The math I didn't do. Here's what I wish someone had explained to me when I turned 60. You don't have as much time as you think. Let's say you retire at 65, and let's say you're lucky enough to live to 90. That's 25 years of retirement. Sounds like a lot, right? Wrong, because those 25 years are not all equal. From 65 to 75, you have 10 good years, maybe, if you're healthy, if you're lucky. Those are your active years, the years when you can still travel, still hike, still do things that require energy and mobility. From 75 to 85, you start slowing down. Your body doesn't work as well. You get tired more easily. Things that used to be easy become hard. From 85 to 90, you're just trying to survive. You're managing health problems. You're dealing with pain. You're losing your independence. From 90 onward, you're mostly just waiting. So really, out of those 25 years, you have about 10 good years. 10 years to do all the things you've been putting off. 10 years, that's it. And if you waste your 60s waiting to start living, you might waste half of those 10 years. That's what I did. I retired at 65. Dorothy and I had maybe 5 good years together after that. 5 years when we were both healthy enough to really do something. And we spent those 5 years sitting on the couch. By the time I realized what we were wasting, Dorothy was sick, and then she was gone. What I should have done at 60, if I could go back to 60-year-old Frank, here's what I would tell him. Stop waiting. You're not going to feel more ready next year. You're not going to have more energy at 65 than you have now. This is it. Right now, this is your window. Your back hurts now. It's going to hurt worse later. Your knees bother you now. They're going to be worse in 5 years. So do the things now, while you still can. Book the trip to Italy. Today, not next year, now. Yes, you're still working. Take vacation time. Use your savings. You've been saving for 40 years. What are you saving it for if not this? Learn the guitar, buy one this week. Start taking lessons. Practice every evening. Instead of watching television, start the woodworking. Build something. Stop planning and start doing. Spend real time with your grandkids, not just holidays. Real time. Take them fishing. Teach them things. Be present while they still want you there. Take Dorothy dancing. Tonight, this weekend. Don't wait for a special occasion. Do something new every week. Something that breaks the routine. Something that creates a memory. Because here's what nobody tells you. The years are going to start moving fast. Really fast. From 60 to 70 is going to feel like maybe 3 years. From 70 to 80 is going to feel like 2. And if you don't actively create memories, if you don't do things worth remembering, those years are just going to vanish. The routine that stole my life. You know what I remember most clearly from my 60s? Nothing. I can remember specific days, the day I retired, the day my daughter had her 3rd child, the day Dorothy was diagnosed, the day she died, but the years in between, gone. We had the same routine for so long that my brain stopped recording it. Every day was the same, so no individual day stands out. I can't tell you what I did on any random Tuesday when I was 67, or 68, or 69. I can't tell you what Dorothy and I talked about on any specific evening during those years. I can't remember any specific meal we had together, any specific show we watched. Those days are just gone, erased, as if they never happened. I sat on that couch for thousands of hours. I watched thousands of hours of television, and I can't remember any of it. 6 years of retirement before Dorothy got sick. 2,190 days, and I can probably remember maybe 20 of them. What a waste. What an absolute waste. The things I never did. I never learned to play guitar. The one I bought when I was 66 is still in the closet. I took it out maybe 3 times, told myself I'd practice tomorrow. I never did. I never went to Italy. Dorothy and I talked about it for years, decades. We had the money, we had the time, we just never did it. Too expensive, we said, too complicated, always an excuse. I never really connected with my grandkids. They're adults now, they have their own lives, and I'm just the old grandfather they see on holidays. We don't have real relationships. I never learned woodworking. I bought tools, a table saw, chisels. They're still in the garage, barely used. I just never actually started. I never took Dorothy dancing. She loved to dance. We used to dance when we were young, when we were first married. We'd go every Friday night. But somewhere along the way we stopped. Life got busy. Kids came, work was exhausting, and I never took her again. I thought about it sometimes, thought about surprising her, but I never did it. I never wrote down our stories. Dorothy and I had 46 years of marriage, 46 years of memories and stories, and I never wrote any of it down. Now most of it is forgotten, gone, lost forever. I never told Dorothy, really told her, how much I loved her, not in the way she deserved. I showed up. I was faithful. I provided. But I didn't tell her often enough. Near the end, when she was dying, I told her, I held her hand, and I told her everything, how much I loved her, how she'd been the best part of my life, how I was sorry for all the time we'd wasted. But I should have told her all of that when we were 65, when we still had time. All these things I could have done, should have done, meant to do. But I waited, and waiting turned into never. What 92 feels like, people ask me what it's like to be 92. It's lonely, it's boring, it's painful, it's full of regret. I wake up every morning in a small one-bedroom apartment. Dorothy's been dead for 15 years. My kids visit sometimes. My daughter Susan comes by maybe once a month. She brings groceries, stays for an hour, then she leaves. My son David visits less often. He lives farther away. My youngest daughter Patricia calls occasionally. We talk for 10 minutes, then we hang up. They love me, but they have their own lives. They're in their 60s now. They have their own problems. My grandkids are in their 30s and 40s. They have careers, families, lives that don't include me. I spend my days alone. Wake up around 6:30. Make coffee. It takes me longer than it used to. My hands shake. I eat toast. Take my medications. 7 different pills every morning. I read the newspaper, if I can manage the walk to the mailbox. Some days my knees are too bad. I watch television, game shows, news, old movies, anything to pass the time. I eat lunch, usually soup or a sandwich. I'm not hungry anymore. I nap in the afternoon. I'm always tired now. Wake up, make dinner, eat alone at the small kitchen table. Watch more television. Go to bed around 9. And then I wake up and do it all again. Every day, for 15 years now. My body hurts all the time. My back, my knees, my hands. The same joints I destroyed working for 40 years are now making my final years miserable. I can't do most of the things I used to do. I can't travel now even if I wanted to. My body won't allow it. I can't learn new things easily. My mind is slower. I'm trapped in this aging body with nothing but memories of time I wasted. The one thing I got right, there's only one thing I'm glad I did in my 70s. When Dorothy got sick, I took care of her. Every single day, every single moment, I was there. For those 11 months, I was completely present. I held her hand. I talked to her. I told her stories. I made sure she knew I loved her. I didn't leave her side. I slept in a chair beside her hospital bed. I was there when she woke up and when she fell asleep. And when she died, I was holding her hand. I at least had that. I at least knew I'd been there for her at the end. But God, I wish I'd been there for her in the beginning too, in the middle, in all those years when we were both healthy. I wish I'd taken her to Italy. I wish I'd danced with her. I wish I'd told her I loved her every single day. I wish I'd made those years count. What you need to do right now, if you're reading this and you're in your 50s or 60s, listen to me. Really listen. Stop waiting. Whatever you're putting off, do it now, not next year, not when you retire, not when you have more money or more time. Now, because here's the truth. You don't have more time, you have less time than you think, and it's going to go faster than you can imagine. Your 60s are not the time to rest, they're the time to live. Your 70s might be too late, your body might not cooperate, your health might fail, the people you love might be gone. So do it now. Book the trip, start the hobby, spend the money, take the risk, break the routine, do something different every week. Create memories. Make your brain record your life instead of letting it all blur together. Call your kids. Really talk to them. Visit your grandkids. Be present with them. Tell people you love them. Say it out loud. Make sure they know. Learn the thing you've always wanted to learn. Start the project you've always wanted to start. Stop sitting on the couch waiting for your life to start. This is your life, right now, this moment. Don't waste it like I did. My final warning. I'm 92 years old. I probably don't have much time left, maybe a few months, maybe a year. And when I look back at my life, here's what I see. I worked hard for 40 years. I was a good provider. I did my duty. And then I retired, and I wasted the next 10 years doing nothing, sitting on a couch, watching television, waiting for my life to start. And then Dorothy died, and I've spent the last 15 years alone, full of regret, wishing I could go back and do it differently. 32 years of retirement, and I can only remember a handful of days. The rest is just gone. Blank, empty, wasted. What a waste. What a terrible waste. Don't do what I did. Don't wait until you're 92 to realize you wasted your 60s. Don't spend your best years sitting on a couch telling yourself you'll start living later. Live now, while you still can, while your body still works. while the people you love are still here, because I promise you, later comes faster than you think. And when later arrives, when you're sitting alone in a small apartment at 92, looking back at decades of wasted time, you're gonna wish you'd lived more when you had the chance. I'm Frank. I'm 92 years old, and I'm full of regret. Don't end up like me.